An injured eagle looked at the sky she once ruled. She rested on a cold, hard rock beneath a sky thick with clouds, a stark contrast to the endless blue she once called home. The wind, once her closest companion, now felt like a stranger, whispering tales of heights she could no longer reach. She watched the world from below, a queen dethroned, her kingdom of the air now just a painful memory. Every soaring bird that passed was a reminder of what she had lost, a shadow flitting across her grounded existence. The vast expanse above, once a canvas for her majestic flight, now seemed to mock her, a silent, grey ceiling to her newfound prison. Her wings were broken, her dreams silent. The wind carried away not just her scattered feathers, but also the echoes of her powerful calls and the rustle of her mighty wings. Each feather that danced away on the breeze was a piece of her former self, a fragment of her identity as a ruler of the skies. Silence had replaced the symphony of the wind whistling past her as she dove and climbed. The dreams that had once filled her with the fire of ambition, dreams of soaring higher than any other creature, were now quiet, buried under the weight of her brokenness. She was a living monument to fallen glory, her spirit as fractured as her wings. "You'll never fly again," they said. The other birds, from their lofty perches and effortless glides, looked down on her. Some offered pity, their chirps filled with a condescending sympathy that stung more than comforted. Others, bolder and crueler, laughed outright. Their calls echoed in the canyon, a chorus of mockery. "Look at the fallen queen," they seemed to caw, "she who thought she was invincible. Now she is just like the rocks she sits on." The eagle heard them all but remained still, her gaze fixed on the distant horizon. Their words were like pebbles thrown against a mountain, annoying but unable to move the core of her being. She absorbed their scorn, their pity, and their doubt, letting it settle within her like silt at the bottom of a deep river. But inside, a whisper said, "I was born to rise." Beneath the silence, beneath the pain and the humiliation, a spark remained. It was a tiny, persistent flicker, a voice that refused to be extinguished. It was the core of her identity, the very essence of what it meant to be an eagle. It wasn't a loud roar of defiance, but a quiet, unshakable truth that resonated in her very soul. This whisper was a memory of her first flight, of the instinct that pushed her from the nest into the terrifying, exhilarating emptiness. It was the knowledge, deep in her bones, that her place was not on the ground but among the clouds. This inner voice was her true north, a compass pointing her toward her destiny regardless of her current circumstances. Every sunrise, she stretched her wings again. Pain became strength. Fear became focus. The first light of dawn would find her awake, ready to begin her ritual. With a grim determination, she would extend her damaged wings, the movement sending jolts of agony through her body. At first, the tremors were violent, the muscles screaming in protest. But day after day, she persisted. She learned to breathe through the pain, to accept it not as a barrier, but as a part of the process. The sharp sting of her injuries became a reminder of her goal, a fuel for her resolve. The fear of falling, the fear of failing again, was channeled into an intense concentration. She studied the wind, watched the other birds, and relearned the mechanics of flight in her mind, turning her fear into a tool for meticulous preparation. Then one morning, she leapt. The wind remembered her and carried her higher. There was no grand announcement, no audience gathered to watch. It was just another dawn, another attempt. But this time, something was different. As she pushed off from the rock, there was a new power in her legs, a new confidence in her heart. For a terrifying moment, she dipped, and the jeers of the other birds might have echoed in her memory. But then, the air caught beneath her wings. It was a familiar feeling, a long-lost embrace. The wind, her old friend, seemed to recognize her, to celebrate her return. It swirled around her, lifting her, supporting her, carrying her upward. The ground fell away, and the clouds that had once been her ceiling were now her floor. She wasn't just flying, she was ascending, reclaiming her birthright. This story teaches us a powerful phrase in English: rise above. It means to overcome problems or difficulties with courage and determination, not letting them defeat you. Just like the ego rose above her broken wings and the mockery of others, we too can rise above our challenges. When you face a difficult situation at work or a personal setback, you can choose to rise above it. For example, you could say, despite the criticism, she chose to rise above the negativity and focus on her goals. It's about finding that inner strength to lift yourself higher than your circumstances. Another beautiful phrase from this story is spread your wings. This expression means to start doing new and ambitious things, to use your abilities to their fullest potential for the first time. It's about leaving the nest of your comfort zone and daring to explore the world and your own capabilities. The eagle, by finally flying again, was literally and figuratively spreading her wings. You might use it in a sentence like, after graduating from college, it was time for him to spread his wings and move to a new city. It signifies a moment of liberation, of embarking on a new, exciting chapter in life, ready to soar. Learn English with stories you were born to fly again. Every story, like the eagle's, holds a lesson, not just in language, but in life. Remember that within you, there is a strength you might not even be aware of. No matter the setbacks or the doubts, you have the capacity to heal, to grow, and to soar. Thank you so much for watching with me today. If this story inspired you, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that help you learn English and lift your spirit. See you next time.